Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everything in between, welcome back to another a live episode. I got hell of a story, something I experienced over the last couple days. I'm gonna get baited up, wait for a couple of people to get up in here, and then we'll jump right into it. Got our worm, got our bobber. Let's get into it. I see signs of life, perch turning out over, maybe bluegill. We'll see how it goes. Wait for a couple of minutes, wait to see if anybody shows up, and then I'll jump right into the story time. Yeah, fishy, fishy. I think we're just too high up. I'm gonna move that bobber. Maybe put a little bit bigger of a chunk of worm on there. Hey, shout out to you. Must be Mr. Pickles. Hope you're having a good evening. I let some kids, they were walking down the street from the park, and they can't fish the park because the lake's too shallow. Hey, Pickles. And hey, you kids want to fish in my yard? And I didn't think anything about it because, like, in the 80s, it wouldn't have been a thing. I don't think it was a thing, so I let some kids fish in my yard. And they tied up my pole. They had their own gear, but they used this one. And we got a swivel straight to, like, a hook. No leader. But that's what we're fishing. Yeah, I don't know. Like, parents are overprotective nowadays, so I was kind of nervous just about letting these kids fish in the backyard. I don't give a shit. Like, we didn't hang out. I'm not trying to be your friend. They had all their own stuff. I had a couple poles out. They let these kids fish in the backyard. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But my wife comes home, she's like, "You can't do that, bro. You look like a chomo." And I said, "No, I just let them fish in the yard. I didn't offer them candy. I drive a white truck, not a van. There's a difference." But let's dive right into the title of this video. So I've been spending way too much time online, and it's become a problem. And all of a sudden I get hit up from like this recruiting office, like Indeed or something. I'd filled out an application because I'm looking for remote work because I'm getting old and I don't like working outside in the rain. So this recruiter hits me up from Indeed. He's like, "Hey, I have this online job opportunity. Do you care if I give him your number?" I said, "No, that's not a problem. Give him my number. You know, what's the big deal there?" And so this lady reaches out to me and she's like, "Hey, I work for this company called Push Whoosh." And I never heard of Push Whoosh. Nobody's ever heard of Push Whoosh, right? And I was like, "Okay, you know, what does this entail?" And she's like, "Oh, you're going to be doing data optimization." And this is all via text, right? And I'm like, this is weird AF. I'm getting fucking weird vibes off of this. But I know, like, it came off of Indeed, and then Indeed's a pretty reputable company. So she texts me and she's like, this is the website. I'll go ahead and set you up an account and we'll do some training. And I said, okay, that sounds great. And, you know, nothing too crazy first. And then she's like, do you care if we message over WhatsApp? And I'm like, red flag, red flag. This is fucking weird, right? And I was like, all right, whatever. You can message me on WhatsApp. And I was like, actually, I prefer it if you just give me a phone call, right? Just call me up on the phone. We'll talk about it, you know? So she does. She calls me up and real thick accent, right? And so she signs me up and I sign up and I got this little website and the website's just off, right? It's not Pushwoosh. It's pushwooshbiz.com. And I noticed this. I need to let them get it. They're spitting it. But I noticed this and I don't say anything. And then we get all set up and she's like, you have to do 40 tasks a day, right? And I said, okay, I'll do these 40 tasks a day or whatever, right? So I whizzed through them, no problem. And she's like, I put $100 in your training account. And I said, okay, great. And so I do these 40 tasks and I'm like, what am I doing here? And she's like, you're optimizing data. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean, right? Like, I'm slow, please explain it to me. And she's like, customers purchase orders and then you have to purchase them and then optimize the data. And that's all she kept saying, but not really explaining anything, just saying optimize the data, complete tasks, optimize data, right? And then she's like, so she's like, you have to put in your own money. And I'm like, red flag, red flag. Why the fuck do I have to use my own money, right? But I'm like, all right, fuck it. I just hit a $200 scratch it from the gas station. I'm here for this. Let's see what fucking happens, right? So on the first order, I had to put in like 20 bucks, right? Cover the cost of these tasks or whatever. And I couldn't pay like with Cash App. I had to use Bitcoin. And I'm like, red flag, red flag. But like curiosity just got the better of me, man. So I'm just going for it, right? She's like, you can make $100 a day plus $6K a month salary. And I'm like, nobody's going to be paying me this kind of shit. But like, the greed's got me going. I've only put 20 bucks into this fucking scam so far. And I'm just like, let's see where this goes, you know? So day one goes by and they cashed me out. They funded me with $100 bucks. I put 20 bucks of my own money. I pulled it out for a total of like 80 something bucks profit, right? So I'm thinking, I'm like, oh man, this is kind of legit, you know? So it doesn't sit right though. So all night I'm up looking up this website, Pushwoosh, social media platform where they push stuff through. It's actually a Russian company. And I'm just looking it up, I'm Googling freaking pushwooshscams.com or, you know what I'm saying? Everything, I'm deep diving the shit out of this. Oh, another red flag. They add me to this chat and it's like Pushwoosh Team 202 or whatever. And I got all the screenshots of this. I'll be putting that out tomorrow. This is just kind of like the sneak peek version of what happened. And so they had me into this like Pushwoosh Team group chat. And I'm just like, all right, hi. And everybody in there is like super friendly, like stupid, annoyingly friendly. I'm like, these people can't be American. There's just, we're not that polite as a society. And they're posting all of like this personal shit, right? Like there was this one girl, and this is all through WhatsApp. So, I mean, everybody's running a fake phone number, and I'm paranoid by nature. So like, I'm looking up these phone numbers and they're not coming back to anything. And they're all registered, Kentucky, whatever. But you message one of them. Because that's what I did. I messaged one of them and I was like, hey, is this legit? How long have you worked here? And nobody's lived there for longer than 5, or worked there for more than like 5 months. And I'm like, what do we do? And they're like, and it's always the same answer. It's always, oh, we optimize data. So what the hell does that mean? Optimize data. What do you mean? I optimize data by clicking this little fucking task like 40 times and you guys want to pay me $6,000 a month? But I couldn't find anything online. There's nothing online about it. There's nothing online about PushWush. It's a legit company, but I just can't get over it, right? So I show up the second day, right? Because all of this takes, 10 minutes to do. So the second day, the funding goes up, right? And instead of, $20, I now got to put in a like $200, and it's Bitcoin. So I do it, right? Like I said, I hit the scratcher. I'm a little bit stupid. I want to see where this goes. They already refunded me my money one time, made $80. So part of my brain's like, man, what if this is legit? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just ignoring red flags because all I'm seeing is the green, right? The dollar signs. And so I put in, $300, and I complete the task. Day 2 goes good. And I cash out, and they pay me out in Bitcoin, $500. So now I'm up 2. You know what I mean? I'm up $200. And I cashed out. So I got the money, switched it from Bitcoin to cash, put it in my bank. And then I quit. I said, this is for sure got to be a scam, because I'm deep diving like scams, and I'm familiar with fake ones that, they send you a check and then they cancel the check. But they were sending me money in real time, Bitcoin. They were sending me Bitcoin, 1/100th or whatever it was. And there's no withdrawing that. Once it hits my Cash App, it's just there. So I pull out my money, right? I'm like, fuck that. This has got to be a scam. This does not feel right at all. And I'm searching the web, because it doesn't feel right. And everybody's too friendly. And they're in this group chat posting pictures like, hey, Jackson Bike Life. How's it going, buddy? Yeah. And it was weird, man. It just, so many red flags. It was actually a Russian company that was bought by the US probably 5 months ago. And so I go to log in on PushWush. You can look it up. I got screenshots and shit. I'll share them with you guys tomorrow. But it's a legit company. But the login site was different. It's PushWush Biz, not /biz, like a .com, like it's the same site, just a different. And they always had, and I ask about it, and they're like, oh, a lot of companies do that. And they always just had explanations, right? Just explanation after explanation. But, so I quit. I said, no, this can't be right. And I think they were just using that as a front, like that company. So I said, this ain't right. You know what I mean? So I got my $200. I'm up $200. I scammed them out of $200. And so I'm reading through like the FBI site, looking for what kind of scam this could be. And it turns out like they, I guess the ploy or the scam of it is they let you withdraw a certain amount, and then they push you to make a bigger deposit, and then if you can't pay it, they freeze your account and take your money. And I mean, it almost worked, man, like, you know, because they're like, oh, the more you deposit, and I'm making money. I'm making $200-300, and they're like, if you deposit more, you can make more. And who doesn't want to do that? But the whole thing felt kind of off. So like I said, I deep dove it, did a bunch of research, and then I reported them to the FBI. I snitched, bro. I reported them to the FBI. I'm like, somebody's gonna fall for this. You know what I'm saying? And so like, I went to that group and I'm like, hey, you know, I think this is all a crock of shit, right? And all of these people in this group who are employees are telling me, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Look, and they're sending me screenshots of like deposits, right? And I'm saving them, all of them, every screenshot with every Bitcoin address, everything, got it all. Built up this case file, emailed it to this FBI guy. And I don't know whatever's going to come of it, but I mean, it was a $200 come up for me. I mean, they were baiting me in and building the trust. I don't trust people. So like, it just didn't work. And I'm up $200. I don't know if the FBI is going to take it from me or not, but pretty clever. I mean, pretty clever, you know, because they hit me up through a legit service, like a legit hiring service and everything, but it was just red flag after red flag. I mean, you would have had to really, but I could see somebody falling for it. You know what I'm saying? The website looked legit. You can research it. And if you check out that company, yeah. See, I told y'all, I catch fish while telling stories. Let's get it. We don't have to move to the other side of the yard. I'm getting tired of catching these. Hi, gorgeous. Yeah, you research the company, right? And the company is totally legit. And what do we have? What do we have? We already know. If you watch, you already know. Boom. Ah, spined. But we're working on cursing less. Tasty. Got me good there. We'll name him Stabby. Back you go, Stabby. Yeah, that's it, man. That's the Pushwoosh scam story. But like I said, I'm up 200. I cashed out and my phone still gets blown up. They're like, oh, how come you quit, bro? And they're sending me screenshot of this deposits that they got. But I cashed out before. Like I said, I think they were trying to build up my trust, and it was working because like the first day I made $100 not doing anything. Second day I made close to 2. I mean, and this is in like a 10-minute period, but nobody could explain exactly what I was doing, which was a pretty big red flag. And people are overly nice. Like, they're sharing their whole fucking life stories. And I'm like, why are you, this isn't normal. You know, like this whole Pushwoosh host group 202 or whatever. And everybody's just super nice. And then this lady, the one who put me on, right? The recruiter, she is like, hey, do you mind if I add you on Facebook? And I said, okay. And she's like 20-something. And she's like, oh, I only do this part-time. My real passion is fashion. And I'm like, you're telling, and she's just spouting it on like thick, right? She's like, yeah, all the money is made on these commissions. You get these commissions. They're called high-ticket items where your account goes negative. And then you have to add in money. And the more you add in, the higher the chance of getting these high commission sales or whatever, right? And like, I just don't believe it. I don't believe it from the jump, right? So like day one, I said, fuck you, I'm out, right? Like I did it, I got the money. It didn't sit right, so I'm like, all right, I'm out. But long story short is I went back, right? I'm a glutton for punishment. I went back, and day two, I made like $200. You know, I put 3 in and pulled 5 out, so I'm up like $200 cash, right? Pull it out. They wire me the Bitcoin, and then I cancel on them. I'm just like, nah, dude, like you guys, this ain't right. Something's wrong here. I think you're just fucking trying to build up my trust. And it was so many, like, okay, so in the group, there's like this, like, you got profile pics because it's on WhatsApp. And, you know, there's this black guy, right? And he's got his profile picture up there and he's posting pictures in this group chat about like barbecue. That was the thing. This group always talked about like what's for dinner. You know what I mean? Just small talk about what, I missed it, about what everybody's eating for dinner. And here's this black guy and he's like, I'm camping and I'm having barbecue, right? So they show him barbecuing, but the dude's hand is white in the photo. Like, profile picture of a black dude barbecuing and the dude's hand is white. And it's just little things, right? Like weird little things like that. And like the lady who put me on, she's like, oh, I'm Russian. I came from Russia. I lived in New York. Now I live in Alexandria, Virginia. And but I talked to her on the phone and she doesn't speak like, she doesn't sound Russian. She doesn't, you know what I'm saying? She doesn't, her mannerisms aren't Russian. None of her Facebook friends are Russian. All 20 of them, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like red flag after red flag. But I ended up $200 up. So like I'm not mad about it. We'll wait and we'll see if the FBI gets back to me or not. But I kind of hope they do. I mean, it was a legit scam. Like it was, I don't know who's losing money on it, but it was well done, man. I was impressed. I was just, you know, wondering how I can get in on it. Like I told her, I was like, I know this guy and he goes by the name Barbecued Pickles. I think he'd be all about this. So do I get a bonus for signing him up as well? But no, man, it was wild times. But like I said, I ended up coming up about $200. So I'm sure the FBI will take it away from me. I'm gonna throw that Ned rig around. It's kind of slow. I've been getting lots of perch. Heading down to the jetty, doing some salmon fishing tomorrow. Maybe. Count you out of that sketchy stuff, huh? You know, I don't even know why I wasted my time. Curiosity, honestly, just got the better of me. And I really am kind of looking for some remote work. I live out in the middle of nowhere, and I make decent money. But if I could make decent money where I don't have to like break my back every day, I would be more excited by it. I'm looking pretty sad. What do you think? More bait? Yeah, I think we're gonna have to throw some more worm on there. Yeah, it was just, I mean, no. Yeah, that's not the lane I'm trying to pick with this, Mr. Pickles. There's not going to be an abundance of exposing scammer videos. It just happens to be something I got caught up in, and I think it was due to the TikTok thing, to be honest. But I mean, they put some work in it. They went through a legit company, like Indeed, pulled my resume, got my number, had Indeed contact me, like a recruiting agency, and put in some work. Used I mean, the website looked legit. Well, it was a legit website. It just, they had two. And I think the alt website was like not affiliated with the real website at all. It worked out though, you know? Lesson learned, makes for a fun story. You know, and then it just all comes down to that. If something's too good to be true, it's gotta be, right? But money, man, that'll jam you up. You know what I'm saying? They're saying, you know, if you work there for 5 days, they give you a $900 sign-on bonus. But you're not doing anything. And that's what, you know, that's, did I break off? That's what felt wrong to me. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just clicking. 40 clicks to complete a task. And I'm like, nobody's going to pay me, you know, anything to do that. Kids do that all day long. Click, click, click for free, right? Like, nobody's paying me an absurd amount of money. It was just all part of the game, I guess. I'll put the screenshots and stuff. I'll make a little video of it tomorrow. It's not really my lane, so I don't see me. I just kind of want to warn other people. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to expose the scammers. I'm trying to learn how to do it myself. Like, how do I get in on this scam, right? Because that's where the real money is. I guess if I was going to do that, I probably shouldn't have contacted the feds, right? I think I'm too late. But I mean, there's, you know, Bitcoin addresses, and it was weird. The whole thing was weird. It, like, really threw me off the last, like, couple days. I mean, I guess long story short is I'm just spending too much time online is what it comes down to. And less time online, more time on the lake. That's it. That's the major drama story. Yeah, it was entertaining. I mean, that's kind of, you know, part of me. Like, I knew it felt wrong from the start because, like, but I've never worked an online job. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe that. But, you know, as soon as he starts saying, oh, you gotta spend your own money to make money, and I'm like, well, that's That's not a fucking job. A job is you show up and they pay you. If we're in sales, let's call it sales, you know? Like, I gotta buy inventory. That I'm not opposed to, you know? Yes, sir. Where are all the fish at? We only got one little fishy? It's kind of rude. So I guess the next question is, does it make me a weirdo? Well, that's a pretty broad question. We already know the answer. But is it weird to let kids fish in your yard if you don't know them? Like, I saw some kids walking down the street with fishing poles from the park, and they're like, I was like, oh, did you guys get anything? And they're like, no, we couldn't catch anything because the lake's too low at the park. I said, if you guys want to, you can fish in my backyard. It's not a big deal. And then I realized, I'm like, it's not the 80s, man. These aren't latchkey kids. Their parents are gonna probably fucking have a cow that this fucking old dude said, hey, come fish in my yard. But nothing happened. I let him fish for like, I don't know, an hour and a half. On the reel up, let's get it. Ooh. Ooh. Nice. Oh, he might not be okay. We'll see. We got him. He's probably at least 10 ounces. He's a big boy. Beautiful. Back you go, little fella. Wait, what are we calling him? Naming him. Let's go with Chuck. Like a good, like Charlie Brown. Like, so we'll call him Chuck for short. But let's get him back. Back you go, little fella. Yeah, that's what I should have done, Mr. Pickles. I asked him, I'm like, are your parents gonna care, you know? Because, like, I don't know if they're just wandering. I don't know where they came from. There's no kids that live in my neighborhood. They didn't live here for sure. And so I asked him, I said, are you guys from around here? And they're like, oh, my mom's visiting. And he mentions a neighbor, and I know the neighbor because you know everybody in a small town. And I was like, oh, would your parents care if you're over here? And they're like, no. Of course they're going to be like, no, right? I guess I should have had him call their parents. It's just a conversation I didn't want to have, I guess. Be like, hey, your kid's fishing at my house. I don't know who you are. But I mean, I don't know. If they would have died, like my home insurance would have went up. But I mean, I would have just poked them with a stick until they were like across the lake, and I'd be like, I don't know how those fucking kids got here. They were here when I got home. Damn trespassing kids. You know, in the 90s, it wouldn't have been a big deal. Nobody would have thought twice about it. Like, you know how many, like, strangers' houses I went to fish their ponds? Like, all the time. Like, and my parents didn't care. As long as I came home alive, like, my parents didn't give a shit, right? I was a latchkey kid. As long as I was home by the time they got home, I could have done anything, man. I could have, and I did, man. Like I rode my bike, like probably, no, we're not gonna get on this weird nostalgia kick, but that's it. Well, we got 2 perch. We told a pretty good story. I'm gonna wrap this up. I will, I'm gonna put together a little video. I'll show the screenshots, maybe my email to the FBI. I'm totally missing a bite. But, yeah, man, go outside, catch some perch, fucking start a fake job, do something. Make sure it's outside, though, because it's good for your soul. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.